You probably think of sunlight mostly for, warmth, maybe getting a tan in the summer. But what if it's actually this really complex and powerful health ally? Far more intricate than we usually give it credit for. Today, we're doing a deep dive into a really interesting stack of recent scientific papers. They're all focused on sunlight, vitamin D, and, well, they're pretty profound, sometimes surprising, impact on your health. Our mission here is to pull out the most important bits, those real aha moments, like, did you know sunlight might affect your blood pressure directly, not just through vitamin D, or its crucial links to mental well-being, even chronic diseases.
Yeah, and what's really striking, reading through these sources is just how widespread vitamin D deficiency is. In some places, it's almost like a pandemic, despite it being so critical for us. But like you said, this dive goes way beyond just vitamin D. It really paints a picture of how light itself, separate from vitamin D, influences our body's basic rhythms. And, a whole host of different health outcomes will definitely unpack the prevalence of the deficiency, its metabolic roles, how it's used clinically, and maybe the most surprising part, the direct effects of just plain sunlight exposure on how our bodies work inside.
Okay, let's try and unpack that a bit. So for most people, vitamin D means the sunshine vitamin, right? And we mostly think, okay, strong bones, that's the main thing. But these sources, they really emphasize much broader functions, metabolic functions. For instance, there's a research, big studies across Europe showing just how common this deficiency is. It's kind of wild to think something so vital could be missing for so many people, like a silent epidemic. What does that really tell us about why it's important, beyond just bones?
Well, exactly. It tells us its role is much more foundational. It's not just bones. Some sources also talk about vitamin D's potential in, say, cancer prevention, showing a protective effect there. But the light story doesn't stop with D. The way direct light exposure interacts with our internal clocks, our circadian rhythms, that's absolutely critical. Studies really detail how messing up those rhythms, often just from not getting enough natural light, can seriously impact sleep quality. And here's where it gets really interesting. That sleep trouble. It isn't just about feeling tired, it's directly tied to our mental health, our overall sense of well-being.
Okay, hold on. This part really got me. One study showed that just exposing skin, human skin, to UVA light, part of sunlight, can directly make your blood vessels relax and widen.
Yeah.
What scientists call vasodilating arterial vasculatures. And the incredible thing is this lowers blood pressure, and it happens completely separate from nitric oxide synthase, which is like the usual way we thought this stuff worked. So sunlight has a direct benefit for your heart and vessels, totally apart from making vitamin D. That feels like a game changer for how we view sun exposure, doesn't it?
It absolutely is, yeah. It fundamentally challenges how we understood it before. If UVA light can do that directly without needing vitamin D as the middleman, it forces us to rethink sunlight's broader impact. It suggests sunlight is, a direct player in our health, not just helping us make a vitamin. And the links keep going. Other sources point to connections between vitamin D levels and depressive symptoms, especially in healthy young adults, suggesting a pretty significant link to mental wellness. And other research is exploring these potential links between sunlight exposure and conditions like type 2 diabetes, maybe influencing blood sugar or inflammation. It's a complex picture.
Right. So, okay, bringing it all together, what does this mean for you listening? We've explored how vitamin D is definitely the sunshine vitamin, yes, but also how sunlight exposure itself seems linked to complex things like type 2 diabetes, and how incredibly important natural light is for our sleep, our circadian rhythms. And messing with those rhythms impacts everything from mood to mental health. It's way bigger than just, preventing rickets.
Yeah, if you sort of connect all these different threads, it becomes clear our whole relationship with sunlight and our vitamin D status. It's not just about avoiding being deficient. It's really about optimizing this huge range of processes that keep us functioning well. That includes its potential role in fighting cancer, those surprising links to depression symptoms we mentioned, and that direct effect of UVA light widening blood vessels and lowering blood pressure, bypassing the usual known pathways. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it?
In this modern world where we spend so much time inside, often under artificial lights, how are we affecting these really fundamental biological interactions with natural light? And maybe what small, thoughtful changes could actually have pretty significant ripple effects on our overall health and well-being?
Think about that. Just the simple act of stepping outside into the light, it can be way more impactful than you ever imagined. Definitely something profound to ponder until our next deep dive.